This quote right here, it really gets to the heart of what it means to be a winner. It's not about never falling down, right? It's about having the guts to get back up again and again. And that single idea is the engine behind the story we're going to dive into today. So, today we're unpacking this really incredible story of resilience. It's just a powerful reminder of how one person's dream, when you fuel it with pure determination, can literally change everything. Let's get into it. So, Section 1, A Dream in the Dark. Our story starts in this small village, and it's here we meet a young boy named George. Now, on the outside, his world is full of hardship, but inside his head, there's this dream that just refuses to be put out by the darkness around him. Just look at this. It paints such a vivid picture of two completely different worlds. On one side, you have George's day-to-day reality. No shoes, clothes with rips in them, a 5-kilometer walk just to get to school. And at night, his house was pitch black. But then you look at the other side, that's his inner world. A burning dream to be an inventor, to help people, and most of all, to build a lamp that could run on sunlight and actually light up his mother's world. Okay, so now we get to the tough part. Section 2, the weight of failure. Because, of course, having a dream is one thing, but the road to making it real, well, that was paved with a ton of struggle and, the heavy burden of trial and error. So George starts building, right? Using whatever scrap parts he could find in the trash. But man, it was just one frustrating thing after another. His first try, the battery just started smoking and actually burned the table. The second attempt, the lamp wouldn't charge at all. And the third one, it just straight up fell apart in his hands. It must have felt impossible. And, the failures weren't just mechanical. He was getting ridiculed by the other kids at school. They'd laugh at him, telling him he should just forget about inventing and go sell sweet potatoes like his mom. You can just imagine how much words like that must have hurt. And this right here is the moment that changes everything. George absolutely felt the weight of it all. He was sad, he probably wanted to cry, but he just didn't stop. Deep down, his dream was just stronger than all the criticism and all the failures combined. All right, Section 3, A Spark of Hope. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, a real turning point was just around the corner. After all that failure, a small but totally crucial spark of hope was about to show up. So this time, George changes his strategy. Instead of just trying the same thing over and over, he starts actively looking for knowledge. He's reading about great inventors in old newspapers he finds. And this is key. He finds an electrician in his village and just starts asking him questions, trying to figure out what he was doing wrong. After George explained everything, how his lamps kept failing, but how badly he wanted to help his mother, the electrician gave him maybe the simplest but most powerful advice you could ever imagine. He just looked at the boy and said, "Then don't stop, Sometimes that's all you need to hear." And then, almost out of nowhere, this huge opportunity lands right in his lap. A rich merchant comes to the school and announces a contest for young inventors with a big prize to support the winner. All of a sudden, the stakes were way, way higher. But even with this big contest, after failing so many times, George hesitated. And that's where his friend Maya comes in. She saw him doubting himself and gave him that final push, telling him, "Try again, George. This is your time." That little bit of belief from someone else can make all the difference in the world. Which brings us to our final act, Section 4, A Light from Trash. Fueled up with new knowledge and all this support, George was ready for one last all-out attempt to create a light out of the darkness. Just look at what he was working with. This wasn't some high-tech lab. This was a pile of garbage. We're talking broken wires, old pieces of glass, scrap metal from fans someone threw out, even that same battery that had failed him before. He was literally building his dream out of other people's trash. So that night, he puts everything he learned into this one last build. He fixes the wires, he checks all the connections, and then he waits. A flicker. Then the lamp turns on. And it stays on. For 1 hour, then 2, then 4 full hours. He'd done it. It finally actually worked. So the next day at the school, other kids are showing off drawings and little toy cars. Then George stands up, his hands are shaking, he presents his solar lamp, and with everybody watching, he flicks the switch. And the entire room just lights up. The merchant walks over, and he asks George where he got the parts.
When George tells him, "from the garbage," the man is just quiet for a second. Then he breaks into this huge smile and says the words that changed George's life forever. This is what we are looking for.
And yeah, George won. He earned a scholarship to a great school. But the real prize, the real win, was this. His little invention, the one he built from trash, started lighting up homes all across his village, changing the lives of so many families.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does George's journey really mean for you and me? That brings us to our final section, the winner's mindset. Because when you get right down to it, this isn't just a story about a boy in a lamp. It's really a metaphor for the struggle we all go through. We all fail. We all face people who doubt us. George's story is kind of like a blueprint for how to get through all of that.
So what can we learn? Well, the story really gives us 4 keys to winning. Keep going, just like George did when he wanted to give up. Keep learning, like when he went to find the electrician. Keep building, one broken piece at a time. And the most important one, get up every single time you fall. Ultimately, it all boils down to this. The story shows us that the most powerful thing in the world isn't money. It isn't having the best tools. It's the simple, stubborn voice inside your head that says, "I will not give up." And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. When you look at the challenges and the setbacks in your own life, your trash, what light are you trying to build?